Okay, so the optimized diet for the skinny fat is the carnivore diet. I tested every diet, from the vegetarian diet, from the high carb, the high fat, the if it fits your macro, so it's like you can eat junk food if it fits your macro, to the animal based diet. I tested everything, and I can tell you that the carnivore diet is the most optimized for skinny fat and for humans in general. And also, the carnivore diet is strongly backed by science, and especially from the Dr. Anthony Chaffee, which is a jacked man at 40 years old. He's fucking huge, man. So I listen to him because he has some credibility. And the thing is, you probably have parents that's cooking for you, so you can't just only eat meat because it would be annoying for your parents. So I have a really interesting strategy. By the way, you can look at my transformation on my channel. I have plenty of video that shows you my transformation, and you can see my physique right there. Okay, so I used to be skinny fat. I think you can listen to me. Before starting, you can take a look at my school community in the description, which is a community where you will find coaching calls and stuff like that to help you go from skinny fat to athletic. Anyway, let's start the video. And why the carnivore diet? So everybody without exception has ever tested the carnivore diet, everybody that has tested this diet have seen huge, if not massive, improvements in all areas of life. Everybody without exception. So it's like everybody that tested this diet have seen improvement. And also look at the people who preach it. So for example, Dr. Anthony Chaffee that I told you, he's jacked. He at 40, 50 years old, I don't know his age, but he's quite old, but he looks fucking massive. And he plays, like, he went back to playing rugby because he improved his diet. So before he was a rugby player, but he had to stop because of an injury or stuff like that. And then he came back to professional rugby just by changing his diet. Okay, so that's incredible. And you have tons and tons of testimony online, like for example, people healing from autoimmune disease or anything. So most of the power of this diet, it comes from the fact that eating only meat brings every nutrient you need to repair and to grow. And by the way, I heard in the podcast of Anthony Chaffee that meat has like 42 or 32,000 nutrients. It's not 32 nutrients, it's 32,000 nutrients in it. So it's not have your fruits, have your vegetables, you will have your vitamins, and it's okay. No, it's like in the meat you have 32,000 nutrients. So you're still a teenager, so how are you gonna do? The chances are that your parents cook for you, okay? You don't really have the choice of your diet. So I understand, and that's why I brought to you this strategy. So the strategy sounds a little bit retarded, but it's still interesting, okay? Eat as much meat and eggs as you can. Eat as much meat and eggs as you can. For example, when your parents cook like bolognese pasta, so you see it's pasta with red meat and tomato sauce. I don't know if you see what dish I'm talking about. And imagine you say to your parent, yeah, can I have a little bit more meat and a little less of the carbs and the shitty carbs like that, okay? So imagine if they cook potatoes with steak. You just take the steak and you eat as much steak as you can. And imagine like your parents are not home, or your mother is showering. You just go into the kitchen and you cook some eggs and stuff like that, okay? So I think that's the most optimized thing, which is just to do your best and eat as much meat and eggs as possible. and you can try to convince them. You can ask them kindly, and talk to them of like, yeah, the carnivore diet is the best diet. I don't think they will understand, because most of the parents, even my parents, they are retarded. They don't know what it is a great diet. But I mean, with repetition they will understand and stuff like that, but it's not a good way. Trying to convince and save your parents is not a good way. Just go for yourself, and if you have results on this diet, imagine you lose a ton of fat and you build a lot of muscle, then your parents will will be shocked and will ask to you, yeah, what's your diet? So you will give advice to your parents. But anyway, now you're a little kid, you can't give any advice, okay? And in most of the cases, your parents will be scared of like, yeah, son, eggs increases cholesterol, son. You know that? Okay, so if you watch this type of video, you know that it's not true. But anyway, and while you do that, you while you try to eat most of meat and eggs, you also try to cut the processed food. So obviously you know that, so the seed oils and the stuff like that, but also the vegetables, because vegetables are unhealthy, and the grains. Yeah, it sounds nuts. Why? Vegetables are unhealthy? Yeah, they are unhealthy. That's the reality. You can listen to Anthony Chaffee's podcast. You can listen to Paul Saladino's podcast, and man, they have researched that for tens of years. So I listen to them instead of my fat doctor who can't even do 5 push-ups. So limit the food that triggers also your insulin. So the fruits, the grains, the pasta, the rice, the potatoes, and something similar. So if you can't have your calories of the day, yeah, you can eat a little bit of rice after your workout, but most of the day try to have your insulin as low as possible, because insulin is a fat storage hormone. So when you spike it up every time throughout the day, it will be fucking hard for you to live life. I'm telling you, it will be hard for you. So do your best. It's not supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to have the perfect diet right away and eat only rice, eat only, oh my bad, eat only steaks and eggs only. Just do the 20% that brings 80% of the result. So the Pareto rule. So 20% brings 80% of the result. So just eat as much meat and eggs as you can. Cut the grains, the vegetables, and the processed food, and do not obsess over that. Just be careful. Have enough protein. I think you know that because you watched this kind of fitness video. And have enough micronutrients. So you can't really calculate it. There are tons of micronutrients that we can't track. We can't really track. Okay. So have enough meat and eggs, because they are the most nutrient dense food on the planet, and be in a caloric deficit if you're skinny fat. Anyway, do your best. Join the school community, and I preach that self-improvement is useless if you don't have a purpose above you. So that's why I say that Jesus loves you. Anyway, goodbye.